හරිම සුමුදුයි.
Tonight, on First at 9 this Thursday, the 4th of January 2024. Home at last. The President intimates a plan to resettle all those displaced by 2025. Contagion alert. Ministry of Health to launch MMR supplementary immunization activity to curb the measles outbreak in the island.
විසුදානම් කරලා තියෙනවා වයස මාස 6ත් 9ත් අතර දරුවන්ට අමතර සරම්ප ඉන්නත් මාත්‍රාවක් ලබා දෙන්න.
Tin wins. Around 1 million persons registered with the Inland Revenue Department to obtain their taxpayer identification numbers. Power wars. CEB employees continue to express their objection against CEB restructuring. Power and Energy Minister meanwhile says dates are decided to present the new electricity bill to Parliament.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සොඩයින් දැන් ළඟම ඇති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
නියම මෝල්ට් සාරය සමග මැලිබන් මෝල්ට් දැන් රුපියල් 750ක් පමණයි.
This is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and a warm welcome to today's edition of AdaDerana's English News First at 9. This is Jonathan Benedict. Let's take a look at our top stories for this evening, starting with a rather worrying story about measles. With the worrying surge of measles cases in the island, the Ministry of Health announced the launch of an MMR supplementary immunization program to curb the spread of the disease, especially among infants. Accordingly, the immunization program is expected to be held on the 6th of January, covering 9 districts of high risk for the contagious virus. The Health Ministry urged the public to attend these clinics and inoculate their children, as the outbreak of measles is attributed to the refusal of vaccination. The ministry stressed that it is only through vaccination that this virus can be eliminated from Sri Lanka once again.
Measles is an enveloped ribonucleic acid virus of the genus morbillivirus. It is a highly contagious, serious airborne disease which can lead to severe complications and death. Symptoms of measles include a high fever, cough, runny nose, a rash all over the body, and red and watery eyes. These symptoms surface 10 to 14 days after exposure to the virus. Sri Lanka, back in 2019, was able to successfully eliminate measles from the island following the completion of a vaccination campaign with 0 cases reported throughout the country. Through Sri Lanka's achievement, the island entered an exclusive list of just 4 countries to have successfully eliminated the virus within national borders. According to the World Health Organization, elimination of measles is achieved when a country interrupts transmission of indigenous virus for 3 years. However, after 4 years past the point where Sri Lanka eliminated measles from the island, a significant number of cases were reported nationwide. According to the statistics of the Ministry of Health, close to 700 measles infections were reported from Sri Lanka from May 2023 to year-end. The highest number of cases were identified from Colombo, Gampaha and Jaffna. Further, a considerable number of cases were reported from the districts of Kalutara, Gaul, Mathura, Kandy and Kurunegala. The Ministry of Health attributed the recent surge of measles cases to the public's refusal to vaccinate their children. Taking the current situation into consideration, the Ministry of Health has taken measures to carry out a MMR supplementary immunization program on the 6th of January. Subsequently, the program will be carried out in all immunization clinic centers in 9 selected districts which have been identified as high-risk areas. The vaccination programs are expected to be held from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m, covering the districts of Colombo, including the Colombo Municipal Council area, Gampaha, Kalutara, Gaul, Mathura, Kandy, Jaffna, Kurunegala and Kalmune. According to the Ministry of Health, the target group for the MMR supplementary immunization program are all children 6 to 9 months in age as of 6th of January 2024. They added that children born between 7th April 2023 and 5th July 2023, including both dates, are eligible for vaccination.
ජනවාරි 6 වෙනි සෙනසුරාදා මේ වසරේ විසුදානම් කරලා තියෙනවා වයස මාස 6ත් 9ත් අතර දරුවන්ට තෝරාගත්තු දිස්ත්‍රික්ක 9ක අමතර සරම්ප ඉන්නත් මාත්‍රාවක් ලබා දෙන්න. කොළඹ, ගම්පහ, කළුතර, නුවර, මාතර, ගාල්ල, කල්මුනේ කියන ප්‍රදේශ 9 මූලික කරගෙන අපි එක් දින අමතර එන්නත් කරන වැඩසටහනක් පවත්වනවා. අඩු වයසේ ළමයෙකුට සරම්ප හැදුනොත් මාරාන්තික සංකුල්තාවලට යන්න පුළුවන්.
Further, a nationwide catch-up program to vaccinate children of 9 to 15 months of age who have missed their due routine MMR vaccines in immunization clinics will be launched simultaneously.
The President's Media Division stated that per President Ranil Wickremesinghe's directives, measures have been initiated to enhance the medical allowances provided by the President's Fund, from 50% to 100% effective from the 1st of January 2024. Through the fund, the government has enhanced medical assistance for patients under 21 years of age for eye surgery, with generous aid increased up to 1 million rupees for young children's liver transplant surgeries, while the monthly income limit for medical aid has been increased to 200,000 rupees beginning in 2024. The President's Media Division today said that measures have been initiated to enhance medical allowances provided by the President's Fund from 50% to 100% starting this year. According to the PMD, beginning this year, medical aid will cover eye surgeries for individuals under 21 years of age performed in private or semi-public hospitals. In an effort to minimize the influx of patients seeking medical assistance in the city, a streamlined registration system within the President's Fund for hospitals across the island has been implemented from 2024. Furthermore, the stipend for post-working hours heart surgeries at the Karapitiya Hospital will be increased this year, with plans to extend the system to other hospitals. Additionally, starting this year, medical aid payment of up to 1 million rupees will be provided for liver transplant surgeries for young children at the Ragama Hospital. Recognizing a gap in coverage, medical aid will now be extended to cover cancer surgeries performed in private or semi-public hospitals. Moreover, both private or semi-public hospitals and government hospitals will offer medical aid for medical tests conducted externally before and after bone marrow transplant surgery, effective this year. Also starting this year, the President's Fund raises the monthly income limit for medical aid from 150,000 rupees to 200,000 rupees to aid the middle income sector of citizenry. Meanwhile, in order to avoid unnecessary delays in the payment of medical aid, the application form for reimbursement of medical aid was updated and the necessary arrangements are being made to make payments within 3 working days for a medical aid application that is duly completed and delivered to the Presidential Fund without flaws. The Inland Revenue Department says that about 600,000 persons have registered to receive their taxpayer identification numbers during the past 6 months of 2023. In total, the department said around 1 million persons have registered to obtain a taxpayer identification number by 31st of December 2023. From the 1st of January this year, the government of Sri Lanka made it mandatory for any individual above the age of 18 to register with the Inland Revenue Department and obtain a taxpayer identification number. Even though registration is compulsory, the President's Media Division stressed that everyone who registers will not have to pay taxes, but individuals who earn more than 100,000 rupees a month will be liable to pay income tax. However, for those who do not fall under the tax income bracket, opening a tax registration number is crucial for various day-to-day transactions such as opening a bank current account, applying for a building plan approval, registering a motor vehicle, renewing licenses and establishing land ownership. This was also a highlight of the budget for 2024 that was presented to Parliament in November by President Ranil Wickremesinghe in his capacity as the Minister of Finance. According to State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitiya, these measures are implemented by the government to increase the number of taxpayers in the future and to ensure that the government collects more revenue in the future without imposing unnecessary financial burdens on the people. What is important now is knowing how to obtain your own taxpayer identification number from the Department of Inland Revenue. Any person who is willing to register as a taxpayer can visit the department website www.ird.gov.lk and click e-services and then access the e-services. In the Access to e-services tab, there is the option Click on Taxpayer Registration, and upon clicking it, the relevant person has to select the category and then fill out the application form and submit it. Subsequently, a certificate containing taxpayer identification number and a one-time PIN will be mailed to the email address given within 5 working days. The IRD stated that a PDF of the National Identity Card with scanned copies of both sides should be uploaded for registration through e-service. If the address specified on the NIC has been changed, a copy of an acceptable document should be uploaded. To register via post or by visiting the Inland Revenue, the department states that the application form for registration has to be filled out and handed over to the primary registration unit of the second floor of the IRD head office or any nearest regional or metropolitan office. The IRD stated that the application for registration may be downloaded from the website.
මේ වෙද්දී තින් අංකය කොපමණ පිරිසක් ලබාගෙන තියෙනවද?
අපේ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව ලියාපදිංචි වෙලා තිබුණේ 4,37,547යි 6:30න් පස්සේ දැන් අද වෙනකොට 10,00,000 ඉක්මවලා තියෙනවා. මිලියන 15ක පමණ ප්‍රමාණයක් අවුරුදු 18ට වැඩි පුද්ගලයන් ඇති කියලා අපි හඳුනාගෙන තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා තමයි අපි හැමෝටම කියලා තියෙන්නේ ස්වේච්ඡාවෙන් මේ බදු ලිපි ගුණ විවෘත කර ගැනීම කරන්න කියලා.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has emphasized that the issue concerning the resettling of displaced persons cannot continue and that there should be a swift resolution to the issue. The head of state made these remarks while addressing the Jaffna and Kilinochchi District Coordinating Committee meeting today. He also instructed the relevant officials to draw up a plan to resettle all those who have been displaced by 2025.
The Jaffna and Kilinochchi District Coordinating Committee meeting was held today under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Can you tell me what is the total number that is still remaining to be resettled? So I think we should now finish this off from 2009. We can't be running every year having people being displaced. So in this year, and if necessary by next year, then we must finish this whole program off. I don't want any displaced persons by 2025. No. I'm giving a bit longer because people might get caught up in the elections. Because of that, we'll give a bit of more time on to 2025. But we must finish it towards the end of the year. We'll be in,
we have
in election mode. But how many? Just tell me how many more families are there that is displaced, either living in welfare centers or living with relatives. Then let's have a plan and finish it off.
Yes, sir. This is the IDP's status in Jaffna district.
Yeah.
To be resettled families related to the land occupations, number of families to be resettled
2,324.
That is in welfare center. That is in
welfare centers.
In the January, that is the status of January, sir.
Okay.
The actual status is here, the down 31st December. In welfare center only we have 10 families with friends and relatives, only 1,502 families.
Yeah.
Population now only 3 welfare centers, only 10 families left in the welfare centers now.
Yeah, what about the family living with relations?
Friends, 1,502 families, sir.
How many people?
4,533.
So let's take all of them together now. Whether they are resettled in, whether they are in welfare centers or whether they are with friends and relations, we'll take that 5,000 and we must see how we can resettle them. There will be one certain number. There may be disputes about the land near Palali, but all the others we should try and sort out and then go on to this, because we can't be carrying on and having meeting after meeting on families. They have to be resettled and finished. So we will ask my secretary also to meet in find out how in northern province, both Jaffna, Kilinochchi and in Vanni, we finish the people who have to be resettled. So shall we go on that basis and come up with a plan?
CEB employees continued their protest against the proposed bill to restructure the Ceylon Electricity Board, despite a circular issued making electricity an essential service and the cancelling of leave of all CEB employees. Ironically, the media spokesperson of CEB, Noel Priyantha, highlighted that it was the employees themselves who had initially raised their concerns, suggesting that the entity must be changed, adding that they are carrying out this reform by considering the suggestion made by the CEB employees themselves.
The Ceylon Electricity Workers Union launched a 3-day trade union strike against the proposed bill for the restructuring of the Ceylon Electricity Board yesterday. This came following a Gazette notification issued making electricity an essential service and the cancelling of leave of all CEB employees. A large number of electricity employees gathered in front of the main office of the Ceylon Electricity Board and continued their protest for a second day.
ස්වේච්ඡාවේ විශ්‍රාම ලබා ගන්නා සේවකයන්ට මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා නෑ. මේ පනත මගින් අපේ විදුලි සේවකයාගේ සම්පූර්ණ ආයතන උල්ලංඝනය කරලා තියෙනවා. 70 ලක්ෂයකට විදුලි පාරිභෝගික ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. අපි මේ පාර බැලලා ඉන්නේ. අපේ වැටුපටවත් දිරි දීමනාවට බෝනස් එකකට මෙඩිකල් එකටවත් නෙවෙයි. කූඩ පනත පරාජය කළා. සමස්ත විදුලි බල පාරිභෝගිකයට සහන විදුලි බිලක් කරන් දෙන්න තමයි අපි උත්සාහ කරන්නේ.
In the meantime, media spokesperson of the Ceylon Electricity Board as well as the Senior Engineers Association expressed their views addressing the protest action.
දැන් අද එළියටම ඇවිල්ලා දෙන පනත හකුලා ගන්න. විතර හකුලා ගත්තාම අපි කොහෙද යන්නේ? ඉතින් ඔහේ පල්ලෙන්න තමයි කැමති. ජාතික අපරාධ කියන්නේ මේවා. ආණ්ඩුවට ඍජුව අපි කියනවා මේවා ඇවිල්ලා මේ ඇස්බැඳුම් සෙල්ලම්. එතකොට මේවට අහු වෙන්න එපා. මණ්ඩලයේ සේවකයන්ටත් මට කියන්න තියෙන මේ නිකන් මේ බොරු උගුල් වලට අහු වෙන්න එපා. පනත කියන එක ක්‍රියාත්මක කළ යුතුයි. ඒක අහුලා ගන්න බෑ. අපි කියන්නේ අහුලා ගන්න බෑ කියලා. එහෙම කොහොමද අහුලන්නේ?
මේක තේරුමක් නැති වැඩක්. තවත් අදහස් දෙන්න කාලය තියෙනවා අවශ්‍ය නම් මේ ආයතනය වෙනස් විය යුතුයි කියලා මුලින්ම හඬ නැගුවේ සේවකයෝ. ඒ හඬට කන් දෙමින් තමයි මේ රිෆෝම් එක අපි කරගෙන යන්නේ. ඒ හින්දා ඒ ටික අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කරගෙන යනවා. ඉතින් නැවතත් කියන්නේ ඊයේත් අපිට දැනුම් දුන්නේ මට දැනුම් දෙන්න කියලා අපේ සේවක මණ්ඩලයට ඉතා දැඩි ක්‍රියාමාර්ග වලට එළඹෙන්න අදහස් කරගෙන ඉන්නවා.
Staying on topic, Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara has discussed the amendments and proposals received from stakeholders and political parties for the new electricity bill today with the members and officials of the Ceylon Electricity Board Reforms Committee and Reform Secretariat. Minister Wijesekara in an X message emphasized that it was decided to incorporate some of the amendments with the assistance of the Legal Draftsman's Office to correct the Sinhala version's inconsistencies and present the bill to Parliament for approval. The proposed reforms are expected to unbundle the services of the CEB, improve efficiency, transparency and competition, and allow private sector participation to come into the electricity industry. The minister in an X message also said that the time frame for presenting the bill in Parliament and implementing the reforms were also discussed and finalized during the meeting. In other news, Sri Lanka Police today introduced a 24-hour hotline for the members of the public to anonymously complain on violence against women and children. Accordingly, any complaints and information regarding forms of sexual harassment can be made via the 109 hotline, that is the 109 hotline. Meanwhile, joining the event launch, Minister of Public Security Derana English said that he expects to bring the online safety bill, which was introduced to regulate the digital and social media space later this month.
The Sri Lanka Police has launched a 24-hour hotline dedicated to monitoring reports of abuse against children and women. The new unit, the Bureau for the Prevention of Abuse of Children and Women, was established at the Police Children and Women's Bureau. Officials joining the event encouraged the public to submit complaints and share information related to abuse through the designated hotline 109.
අපේ රටේ දරුවන් ලිංගික අපරාධවලට ලක් වූ අවස්ථාවලදී ඒ ගැන කියන බියෙන් හා ලැජ්ජාවෙන් පසු වෙනවා. එවැනි දරුවන්ට අද දින විවෘත කළ මේ පබ්ලික් කම්ප්ලේන්ට් ඩෙස්ක් එක හරහා ඔවුන්ගේ ගැටලුව රහසිගතව දැනුම් දීමේ හැකියාව ඔවුන්ට ලැබිලා තියෙනවා.
හෙට සිට බියක් සැකක් නැතුව ළමයින්ට කාන්තාවට මේ අංකයට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්කම ලැබේ. මේ ස්ථානයේ පැය 24ම ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. මේට දැන් ඇමතුම් වල පිළිතුරු දෙන්නේ කාන්තා නිලධාරීන් පමණයි. ඈත අපිට ගම්මානයක ඉඳලා මේ අංකයට කතා කරා. ක්‍රමවේදයක් සකස් කරලා තියෙනවා. ශනිකව ක්‍රියා කරලා පැය 48ක් වගේ කාලයක් ඇතුළත මේකට ගත්තු ඇක්ෂන් එක පිළිබඳව නැවත වතාවක් මේ ස්ථානට වාර්තාවක් ලබා දීම. ළමුන් සම්බන්ධ අසභ්‍ය වීඩියෝ දර්ශන සහිත දේවල් විතරක් ලක්ෂයකට ආසන්න සංඛ්‍යාවක් පහුගිය අවුරුද්ද තුල ජංගම දුරකථනයේ ඔස්සේ සංසරණය වෙලා තියෙනවා.
මේවට සම්බන්ධ වෙන පුද්ගලයන්ට අපි කිසිම සමාවක් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මං හිතන්නේ මේ 2023 තියෙනවා පැමිණිලි 8000 ගාණක් විතර. ඒ 8000 ගානෙන් 3000 ගානක් තියෙන්නේ සෝෂල් මීඩියා. දැන් ඒක නිසා තමයි මම මේ ඔන්ලයින් සේෆ්ටි බිල් එක ගේන්න යන්නේ. මම ජනවාරි 23 මේක ගේනවා.
Welcome back. The European and International Booksellers Federation and the International Publishers Association have expressed their concern over the imposition of an 18% tariff on books imported to Sri Lanka. In letters to both the Sri Lankan government and the International Monetary Fund, the international organizations expressed their belief that the policy may contravene Sri Lanka's commitment under the Florence Agreement and urged the Sri Lankan government to reconsider the tax hike. IPA President Karine Pansa said that tariffs should not be imposed on books because of their key role in ensuring the success of education, literacy and cultural development policies in all countries. Sri Lanka is a signatory and states party to the UNESCO Florence Agreement on the importation of educational, scientific and cultural materials, whereby the countries involved do not impose custom duties on certain educational, scientific and cultural materials that are imported. The removal of books from the list of VAT exemptions is therefore questioned with the country's commitment under the Florence Agreement. Moving on to stocks news and some good news. The Colombo Stock Exchange closed higher for the third straight session this year, today aided by gains in capital goods as well as food, beverage and the food and beverage counters. The CSE All Share Index closed 0.23% higher at 10,740.03 points, while the S&P SL20 fell 0.2% to end at 3,086.91 points. Richard Peters & Company, the Ceylon Tobacco Company, and Melster Corp were the top gainers for the day, rising 4.7%, 2.3% and 1.32% respectively. Trading volume on the index rose to 43.7 million shares from 29.8 million shares in the previous session. Equity market turnover fell to 627.2 million rupees from 768.9 million rupees in the previous session. The food, beverage and tobacco sector was the top contributor to market turnover today, while the insurance industry sector was the second highest contributor. Foreign investors were net sellers, offloading stocks worth 48.4 million rupees, while domestic investors were net buyers, purchasing shares worth 504.6 million rupees. Now let's take a look at how the rupee traded against other major currencies as the day progressed. Sri Lanka's mobile service provider Dialog Axiata has entered into partnership with Sri Lanka Cricket as the official sponsor of the national cricket team. With that, let's take a look at news from the corporate sector today.
In an effort to nurture homegrown sporting talent at both the national and international levels, Dialog Axiata plc extended its partnership with Sri Lanka Cricket as the official sponsor of the Sri Lanka national cricket team.
It gives me great honor and pleasure to see Dialog signing up with Sri Lanka Cricket once again. Partnering with Sri Lanka Cricket gives us immense pleasure, and to see having confidence in going into these series and back in the cricket, which Sri Lanka has always done well. So hopefully Dialog partnering with Sri Lanka Cricket once again will ignite the victories that we were used to in the past years.
Meanwhile, Horner Plantations plc said that Haley's Group Services has been appointed as the registrar of the company with effect from 1st of January 2024. The appointment has been done with the exit of the PW Corporate Secretarial Private Limited from last year. In the meantime, SoftLogic plc announced today that Valivattage Lucille Pereira Vijayawardena, who was an independent non-executive director of SoftLogic Capital plc, resigned from the board of directors of the company and from board of subcommittees with effect from 31st of December 2023. The firm said Vijayawardena has no relevant interest in shares issued by the company as at the date of his resignation.
Welcome back. Global Ambassador for Peace, Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, says that people should not immerse themselves in merely performing rituals and worshipping a deity, but should look beyond that and seek life's deeper philosophy behind it. Joining a special edition of At Hyde Park with Indivari Amavatta in Bangalore, India, Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar said that one of the major challenges the world is facing right now is the rise in mental illnesses, and that must be addressed. Further commenting on the highly ritual and worship-based religious beliefs that are widely practiced, he claims that all religions are derived from a single philosophy pointing at humanity and mental sanity.
You spoke about rituals, and I feel like all of us are prey to rituals and not feeding the mind and uplifting our mind. So how do we start there? Because we're so involved in rituals, worshipping statues, but there is a bigger cause.
See, this is what was happening in Lord Buddha's time in India. People were they thought they know it all, and they were so caught up in just rituals. That's why Buddha stood against the rituals. He said no. He never said there is no God. He would never answer. He said go deep within. He emphasized on meditation. So that's what we need to do. Again, time and again, we have to come to the conclusion. See, Lord Krishna said there are people who are just caught up in rituals and in the books, and they think this is it. And 2,500 years after Lord Krishna, again same thing had happened. They started just going into rituals. That's when Lord Buddha came, and he re-established the true spirituality or principle, and he spoke about that. Time and again, this sort of revival or revisiting the ancient philosophy is needed. Okay, you keep all your belief system aside. See, there was only one Lord Buddha. Today 36 sects of Buddhism are there. In Hinduism, you can't even count. There are so many. They all add colors to the universe, the world, you know. They are very unique. They have their own greatness, their own beauty in them. But the basis of all this is humanness, happy life, and a mind free from stress and inner connectivity, the satori, what is called, the samadhi, that experience has to come. And that is what Art of Living is doing. We say you believe whatever philosophy you believe, but have the experience. Now people say, how do I do it? I don't get it. I sit for meditation, keep getting too many thoughts. The mind goes all over the place. How do I control? I'm suffering anxiety, tension, and uncertainty in life. All these. Today, mental illness is the biggest challenge the world is facing. For this, we have done scientific studies, and there are ample evidence in the research that how Sudarshan Kriya, the breathing technique, meditation has helped people to get out of it.
That's all the news I have for you for tonight. Join us again tomorrow for your premier breaking news on AdaDerana right here at First at 9. For now, this is Jonathan Benedict wishing you a good night and a blessed Friday ahead.
For news and information you can trust 24 hours a day, visit AdaDerana.lk.